Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Transformers review. I haven't done one of these in a while, but the reason for that has primarily been because obviously I'm from Ireland and there really hasn't been anything that I actually wanted to get Transformers wise in a really long time. Like, obviously the movie line Age of Extinction has been out here, but they really didn't put out much. Like, they didn't release the kind of proper deluxes. They're trying to sell those kind of power battler things as deluxes. But anyway, for some reason, we seem to get these TV show lines first. We got Transformers Prime stuff first, and yeah, we seem to be getting Transformers, the new show, Robots in Disguise first as well. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be reviewing today, is obviously the Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Bumblebee, which, for the Robots in Disguise line, this is what they're calling deluxes. They're calling them Warrior Class, and really apart from the name change, that's the only major difference. Deluxe still continues in the Combiner Wars / Generations line, but obviously they wanted to separate these because basically these aren't on the same level of transformation as the deluxes, so they wanted to differentiate that or something. But anyway, yeah, here's the packaging. I'm not going to linger too long on the packaging, but as you can see, there he is in the package. There's his vehicle mode, Bumblebee. I actually really like the general look of the packaging, just with the big Transformers along the side, the Robots in Disguise logo behind the price. $19.99 for this in Smith's in Ireland. Pretty hefty price tag. That's like, I think, the most ever I've seen deluxes on sale for. But, you know, I didn't mind just because I haven't bought a Transformer in so long at retail over here. But yeah, anyway, there's the logo. I quite like it. It kind of looks like a kind of poker chip type thing. And obviously the reason it has those kind of weird kind of a mixture of like red and white bits is because as you can see on Bumblebee, the logo, you can scan it and it works as some sort of a QR code type thing with the Transformers app. And you unlock the character of the figure in the game. I just checked, that app doesn't seem to be live. Let me just show you the side. There's an interesting shot of Bumblebee from the show. And yeah, this is obviously from the new show, Robots in Disguise. The show looks pretty interesting to me. It's a direct sequel to Transformers Prime, set a few years after it. So Bumblebee's the new leader, and you have a group of new characters and a group of new human characters. Not scheduled to air, I think, until like the first couple of months of 2015, so it could be anywhere from January to March or something like that. But yeah, here's the back. Instructions on the back. I don't know if you get instructions in the packaging, but yeah, here's the scanning function. You can see, you know, download Transformers app, scan the kind of logo, the faction emblem on the character, and you get the character in the game. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So yeah, I'm just going to open this guy. So here is Robots in Disguise 2015 Bumblebee in vehicle mode, and yeah, he's as expected a yellow Camaro type car. Design changed somewhat from Transformers Prime. Let me just actually bring in Transformers Prime Bumblebee here for a comparison. You can see that they effectively are like a kind of similar type of car, but maybe he's full on changed the vehicle mode that he's scanned, or this is just meant to be like this car in the new style or something like that, a stylized version. Obviously I haven't seen a lot of the clips and stuff like that because obviously the show isn't out yet, and you know, I'm definitely going to be reviewing the show on my channel when it comes out, but I'm not really keeping too up with it until like it's fully out. So yeah, it's hard to tell, like, if regards to like accuracy, like these stripes are meant to go all the way down the back, or if they're literally just meant to be on the hood and the front. But yeah, as you can see, no painted wheels. The sword is stored on the bottom. But other than that, you know, you've got clear windows on all sides, sides, front, and back. No painting on any of like the back lights or anything like that. License plate, sticker, or anything like that, but basically all of the paint is just on this black stripe here, and then the front lights, but even then there's still some details like here and here where there maybe someone who's good at painting could do some work. And as ever with Bumblebee, there's always, usually when they try and do the transparent windows, the color between the normal plastic and the kind of paint that they use to paint over the transparent plastic is a little bit different. The comparison here is probably like pretty good. You can sort of see that the yellow here is different than the yellow on these two sections, but it's not really that noticeable, especially looking at it on the kind of viewfinder of my camera here. It doesn't look that bad, but in person you can definitely see it's different. As for the bottom, yeah, you've got the sword stores on the bottom. It just actually clips in via these two little kind of angled pegs here, and there's kind of two holes in the sword you can sort of see there, and you just kind of clip it on like that. So that's cool that it has a storage function. Works. It doesn't really roll that well. I'm not really sure why. I think it could be because of these pegs. It's these two and then these two little things here, which are obviously part of this is the section that makes the kind of door wings in robot mode. So they're just gonna stick out a little much to make it roll very clearly. You know, it's definitely, I think that's definitely the case. Maybe if you shave these down a little bit. I think it's primarily these ones here rather than the actual pegs for the sword that stop it from rolling properly. So I might actually shave those down just so it rolls a bit better. But it seems quite fine. I like the robot mode. The style that the show is going for is obviously, it seems like a mix between kind of like Prime and animated. So this, to me, works as the kind of more cartoony version of the Prime car. I do have animated Bumblebee here. Obviously, I only have the Elite Guard version, but you get the idea of the kind of car mode in terms of a size comparison. Obviously, the car is completely different for animated, but you get the idea here. And then the only other Bumblebees I have are these two. I have, I think this is War for Cybertron Bumblebee. I don't think Fall of... Is there a Fall of Cybertron Bumblebee? I'm not really sure. But either way, there's him, and then the other one is Alternity Bumblebee, which is a fairly complicated transformer. So there's my squad of Bumblebees, and you can see that this one, the new one, fits in pretty well. Let me just line them up a bit more sideways to show them off a bit better, but you know, you can sort of see none of them really stand out apart from obviously this one, but if this was in yellow, this one wouldn't stand out. But yeah, that's it in this mode. You can't see the obviously like the chest logo through the transparent window on the back, but I don't really think that's much of a problem. Definitely, like, it could use more paint, but it's not like awful looking. It's not like completely no paint, but I quite like it. It's simplistic, fits in with the style, but yeah, let's get this into robot mode. I'll transform it now. Let me just get these other Bumblebees out of the way. Now, yeah, this is a Bumblebee here, and yeah, first step is to just this whole transparent section, basically, which is the whole roof section. You basically just kind of take that out by just kind of unpegging it. You kind of like almost snap the car in half to get it loose, and then you just kind of it definitely pegs together fairly well. That's why it's kind of a little bit difficult to actually take apart right now. There we go. And then you just move this section up. You see the two kind of hinges, it double hinges. It moves from here to up here. So that's that. Then what you do is you take the section that has the doors and also this kind of grey section here, and you just kind of move it down. You just kind of slide it that way. The wings you kind of tilt later on, but obviously you can choose basically whichever angle you want on the door wings. Just kind of leave them like that for now. Then what you do is you basically take the two leg sections, peg them apart, twist at the waist. Just get the hands out of the way, twist at the waist. Then you just move the arms kind of up a bit, obviously to use the kind of shoulder joints, is kind of tilt out and up. You tilt the feet down. And then with this, all you do is you kind of move it, tilt it up, and then kind of like slide it back and set it down. So there is Robots in Disguise Bumblebee in robot mode. Fairly simple transformation, but I think it works pretty well. It is like really simple, like there's nothing really complicated to it. It kind of has the transformation of maybe some of the lower size classes, but I don't think it really like feels like it's like lacking for it being the new deluxe kind of warrior class. But yeah, it's for me this works pretty well. Just in general, the look of this guy. Um, Obviously he's going to be our new leader in the new show, and to me this design for Bumblebee works as him being the leader. It's of all of the four in the first wave of warriors, this one like stood out the most to me when I saw them on the shelves. Obviously, like Strong Arm is our new kind of female character. She seems pretty interesting. I'm getting Strong Arm and Grimlock for Christmas, so I may do a review of them if you guys want. Steeljaw, the one Decepticon in the first wave, really didn't look that good in packaging. Like seriously, I was going to get all four of them. But that guy just kind of was like, wow, that thing looks a little bit of a mess. Like, wolf head, claws in one arm, the legs all kind of weird, the vehicle mode's all weird. I'm going to wait to see what his character's like in the show before getting him. But Bumblebee was just like the one I was like really excited for just based on the look and packaging. And just there, he really does feel like the kind of main character of the show. Obviously my camera's not that great at focusing in, but you can see the face. It kind of has a little kind of cheeky grin on the face, so more confident Bumblebee. And overall, Bumblebee as a character, I think, has been so much improved by the end of Transformers Prime. Once they gave him his voice back, this character was actually really interesting towards the end of Season 3 of Transformers Prime, so I'm super excited to see him as the leader. But yeah, this, I believe it is a sticker. It's not painted on, as far as you can tell. Yeah, it's definitely a sticker. So if you want to, you can take that off, if you don't want the kind of logo. I know a lot of fans don't seem to like this kind of poker chip-like Autobot logo. I can't really remember what they look like in the show, because the show hasn't aired yet, but overall, I think it looks pretty cool. Like, he's got a decent amount of black on him. Like, considering the lack of paint in vehicle mode, he's got a surprising amount of paint in this mode, in that, like, lots of little black parts here and there. Shoulders, the wheels kind of add black. There's black on the insides of the forearms. His hands are black. Black on his whole shin section, basically. And here's what he looks like from the back. So he doesn't really look too kibble heavy because, obviously, it's a thing with Bumblebees nowadays that they have the door wings, so that makes complete sense. The kind of the section that's basically the kind of boot kind of the car sticks out a little bit when you kind of look at it from above, but it doesn't really look like that bad, just because the door wings kind of create this space behind anyway, and it doesn't really look that out of place. Maybe if you have the door wings tilted down really far, but that looked weird. Just kind of have the angled like that. So overall, I think it looks good. The only negative, I suppose, would really be that these bits kind of don't tuck in as well as like you would want them to. It makes him it makes him a little bit kind of back heavy in terms of posing him, but it's not too bad. So that's fairly fine. With regards to posability, you've got all the standard joints you want in the kind of shoulders. The shoulders move pretty well. Just because of the transformation, you get a good range of motion there. You have a swivel at the elbow, which is pretty nice. Hinge at the elbow, again, about 90 degrees exactly. No wrist, that's a bit of a negative for someone who uses a sword, obviously. And obviously the same with the other arm. You do have the waist joint because of transformation as well, and that's pretty nice to have. Hips, standard, move everywhere you want. Swivel just above the knee. You have the worst part of the posability definitely is the knees, just because his lower legs are so much bigger than his thigh. Like, that's his thigh, that's his lower leg. The knee bend is so high up, and then with the back kibble, you can only get like not even 45 degrees with the knee. So effectively the knee is kind of almost like useless. That's about the best kind of pose you can sort of get with the knees. You can maybe do something different like that. I suppose that's a pretty good pose, actually. That's probably one of the best poses I've got out of him so far. But yeah, the knees aren't that effective just because of how high up they are. And then you get a little bit of ankle just because of the transformation, but it's not side to side, which is probably more effective. But it is kind of sculpted in a way where you do have a kind of V stance, like that's the standard pose, as opposed to like his feet like dead together. This is the standard pose, so that's something they've kind of kept over from animated and stuff like that, and overall it works pretty well. But yeah, so what else is there to do? Oh yeah, just the sword, obviously. You can hold it in either hand. Looks quite nice. He can actually hold it in both hands, though obviously because of the lack of wrists, it makes it a little bit limited, but definitely if you really plan out your pose, you can get him to hold it in two hands in a bunch of different ways. So you can have that kind of classic, kind of looking into his sword or looking just past it. You can just twist it and have him kind of hold it out. It does kind of, it's just kind of stretch the limits of the articulation, kind of having him hold it like this. But once you kind of free it up a bit, you can get some decent two-handed poses with it. So that's a good thing. Some other Transformers that have swords can't do this, so that worked pretty well. And that's the accessory he comes with, is the sword, and he can use it pretty well. And the head motion's okay. It seems to be on a ball joint, not really restricted by the stuff around it, so you can get a decent range. Can't look up that much, but he can look down a decent amount, so that's quite good. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. The only main pieces of articulation missing would be wrists, which I'd say is fairly important for a sword user to have, and then the knees are a little bit kind of not great because of how high up they are, and the kibble on the back. You can maybe move this around a little bit to get more out of it, but it makes the back of the leg look really weird, and then the ankle doesn't really have side to side, so again, it makes them hard to do that many poses. But still, you can get some decent stuff with him. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this Bumblebee. I really do like it. I'll just bring in some I'll just quickly go transform the other Bumblebees in the robot mode and get some comparisons in this mode, and then we'll pretty much end the review. So. Okay, so here is the robot mode comparison. As you can see, here's my own legion of Bumblebees in robot mode. So the War for Cybertron Bumblebee, Transformers Prime Bumblebee. In the middle, the one we're reviewing today, Robots in the Sky, is Bumblebee. Here's Elite Guard Bumblebee from Animated. And then here's Alternity Bumblebee. There's Leonardo and a Gundam on the side. But yeah, Alternity Bumblebee. Pretty cool. Yeah, but overall, as you can see, just looking at them here, I think this guy overall looks better than this Prime Bumblebee. And I actually like this toy. I think I reviewed this one on my channel, or maybe it was the blue repaint. But I really like this one. It's obviously not as complicated as maybe the animated Bumblebee, but I think it kind of captures the best of kind of the overall look of this Bumblebee, but the kind of cleanliness of the design of this Bumblebee, because there's a lot of kind of stuff, especially in the middle, you can see the Prime Bumblebee has the thing on the back with the hood. You can see some of the gearing here, and so on. It just looks a little bit messy in or around here. The shoulders are super wide on this one, while this one looks a lot more natural, clean, accurate to the show, just like a lot of people were saying about the animated figures. And while yeah, it's not complicated, I can't really see many ways that they could add a lot of extra layers to the transformation. Maybe do some sort of a fold in and out hand thing to give it some jointage or something like that. That would be another thing they could have added. Just add a little joint for the ankles, fix the position of the knees. There's a few little things here and there, but overall I'm pretty impressed with this guy, and I'm looking forward at Christmas to getting Strong Arm and Grimlock, and especially going into Wave 2, that Drift figure from this show. I'm really excited for that Drift, because that alt mode for the Drift from this show looks amazing, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, let's have another look at Robots in the Sky's Bumblebee. So yeah, pretty impressed. Just obviously this is going to be our main character in the new show coming out in 2015, and I think he's got a pretty good Warrior toy here, so I'd recommend him if you're interested in the show and looking to get toys from it. This is pretty good. Maybe if you're just in it for the quality of the figure transformation and stuff like that, maybe not so much. If you're not interested in Robots in Disguise, the show at all, probably won't interest you. But if you like the show, if you like that Transformers Prime Bumblebee character, I think this is a really solid representation of it. Pretty clean transformation. It's simple, but effective. Like, there's nothing like massively missing. No massive bits of cable apart from maybe this. But even then, like, a lot of transformers do this a lot with panels and stuff like that. So it's not that big of a deal. The sword itself, I suppose, I haven't really commented on. It's fine. I've never really liked the idea of just having like a weapon that's just transparent plastic, because it makes no sense unless it's like the original G1 stuff and they have like energy weapons. But like, let me bring in the packaging again for a moment. You can sort of see on the box art for Bumblebee, there's his sword right there, and it seems to be a metal sword. It's got the colors of Bumblebee here, and this doesn't look anything like it. Like, I'd much prefer they just actually just did it like this. You can sort of see some of the details on it in that it has blue kind of going through it, blue at the side, there's little bits of energy. Perhaps when he like powers it up, it becomes full blue, but even so, I doubt the actual like guard and like handle hilt actually become transparent blue as well. So there's definitely something I wish they'd improve the accessory, but overall, Robots in Disguise 2015 Bumblebee is a pretty big success for me. Like, I'd really just forgotten that this show was even coming out until I saw the sightings thread for Ireland and that these things were actually out. Saw them on shelves and was just like, oh, okay, I'm pretty hyped. And now that I've actually opened up one, I've messed around with it, I'm pretty excited for the show, to see this character, and I'm pretty excited for more of these Warrior Class figures. But yeah, that's been the review. Thanks for watching. As I said before, I will be reviewing the Robots in Disguise show when it comes out on my channel, so if you're interested in watching reviews of that, definitely check out my channel when the show actually comes out. Maybe I'll be doing reviews of Strong Arm and Grimlock around Christmas time, after I obviously open them and getting them for Christmas. But yeah, for now, that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching. Bye!